In Harmony family, y'all in the hallway, honey. Not this stuff in my hair, but I'm gonna try and make this 36%. So I'm gonna try and make this. Um, I'm gonna try and my phone on 36%. So I'm gonna try and make this as quickly as possible. And this is an observation that I really was looking at as I'm finishing up my doula certification. And these are things that I need us as Black women and Black men. We're going to have a talk as well because y'all's help and support can be very, very vital when it comes to that fourth trimester of of birthing. So, this is an observation that I came across as I'm going through or as I'm finishing up my doula course. One of the things that would help us to decrease this black mortality rate and infant mortality rate is if there was more Black midwives, because don't nobody understand your culture more than the people that are actually from it. And the amount of stories that I hear about other races and how negligent they are towards Black women when they're in labor, especially if they're home births, a lot of them won't even come to you if they don't feel like it's an emergency. A lot of them feel like if you're not screaming at the top of your lungs, you know the way they make movies, make pregnancy seem, if you're not doing that, they won't come to you. You know, just even hearing stories about um, midwives of other races walking out on Black women, and we have to start asking questions on why our mortality rate is so high compared to other races. And besides the food, the horrible food choices that we make during pregnancy, that's one of them too. Negligence. We are often neglected in these hospitals, and this is even from my own personal experience. I first off, first off, my experience was I didn't want to be induced. When I talked to my doctor, I did not have a plan. My birthing plan did not even include being induced. So we're gonna talk about that too. Why it's important for um, you to have a doula, because your doula is your voice. It's literally your voice when you are in these chaotic environments, you know, and I feel like hospitals are very chaotic. So when you're in these environments and you're a mother and you're going through birth and you're not all the way there because you're experiencing so much pain, you're experiencing um, a windfall of emotion, so you're not really focused on the things that are outside of you. So that's why it's important that you have a doula or you have somebody who is enforcing your birth plan. You know, your birth plan is pretty much saying that, okay, you don't want no vaccines, you don't want no epidural, you don't want any Hep B uh, shots, you know, for your baby. Um, you know, even just your setting, like you want to be at home, all of this good stuff, like that's your birth plan. That needs to be discussed at the forefront of your pregnancy whenever you find out, like as early as possible, as soon as possible. So, you know, just even going off of my experience in the hospital and how even the aftercare of pregnancy, I mean, half the aftercare of birth, because I experienced a C-section, and we're gonna talk about that too because it is so much that women have to go through when it comes down to giving birth because even though it can be a chaotic experience, it is something that is joyous and it's something that a woman needs to feel on a emotional and spiritual level. And this is literally something that is innate in us, and we have to experience those things. But when you experience a C-section, you take all that joy away, and it takes away a bond that you have with your baby. But we're gonna talk about that a little later, probably in the next video, because it's some ties with that when it comes to building a connection between the mother and baby. So we're gonna talk about that, but I want to talk about the importance of having a midwife, especially a black one, because, like I said, we don't we don't understand, or even when people advocate for um, you know, black mortality rate, we don't talk about the how and the why, because when you have predominantly white people and Asian people, or, as nurses and midwives, that's their system, that's their culture. So of course they're going to defend that and fight that. And if you have like a doula present, and it's especially a traditional one, and where we're going to enforce, like I said, your doula is your voice. So we're going to enforce whatever birth plan that the mom wants, because we don't understand, the mom is going through so much of a transition and a rebirth during the entire pregnancy, from the time she finds out she's pregnant to the time that she is growing this seed in her body. And that fourth trimester is very, very important, and we're gonna dive deep into that. But just thinking about that in the system, and how they're trained, people like the nurses, the midwives, they're trained for medical medical delivery, like, meaning they're trained on how to use um the medicines in the hospitals. They're trained for emergencies in case the medicine don't work. They're not trained for traditional holistic things, natural things. They're not trained for that. So of course they're going to avoid those things. You don't think that they are learning, if there are doulas, or people who are more on the holistic side, that you should do this and do that. Yes, they're learning that too. They're learning to stand firm and strong in their teachings. So when they come into an environment with someone who is traditional, and who is holistic, they don't know how and or what to do, because they have not been trained or taught that. So when it comes to black mortality rate, one of the ways that we could decrease the rates, really have some help in that area, is if we had more black midwives, who are, more on the traditional side, and understand the pain that your sister is going through at this point. But, we so far, like, behind that, we don't we don't have compassion for each other. We don't believe in supporting our sister. We don't believe in, really bonding with our sister and lending her a hand and support. And we think that, it's her problem, blah blah blah. No, that's your sister. That is literally your sister. So I just want y'all to really take heed to that. Another, let me find it, because I was writing this stuff down, because I was getting so many downloads last night about birthing, and how um we really don't understand the support that we really need when it comes to it. And it was, hold on, let me find it. Let me find out. Let me find it. Mm, let me see. Ooh, where did I write it? I was getting so many downloads last night, because um it's like, if you really gonna advocate for change in your community, you need to do something that is actually going to um make change. And so for me, I don't like the experience that I had with being in a hospital. I don't even, to be honest, when I had a midwife, I don't even know, I can't even remember what her name was. I can't even remember if she was active. Like I don't remember her. Like I don't even remember what she looked like. And when it comes to going through these things, that's why I don't understand how women can keep having babies in this environment, and they can keep having babies in a system that is not of us and that don't give a damn about us. I don't know how women can continue to do that and not want to make any changes. Like, this is your body, this is your mind, this is your spirit they playing with, and then they sitting here and doing whatever they want to do because they literally try and make you feel guilty for wanting to go forward with your birth plan. Y'all, this is your Gucci. Okay? This is your portal. This is yours. It's yours. And we have gotten to a point where we have other people outside, external um, forces or energy trying to control what goes on with our body and in our body. And it's like, if you a black woman and you have gone through the hospital, you've gotten a C-section, you've even did a vaginal birth in a hospital, and I tell you, if you pay attention to your intuition is so loud in the hospital. We don't belong there. We do not belong there, okay? Like we don't belong there. And so, um, what's another red flag? Oh, this is something I learned too. A red flag for your midwife is if they have a high transition rate. My transition transfer rate, meaning that they often, hold on, y'all. Somebody coming up the steps, and I know it's about to be loud. I know it's about to be loud, but yeah, it's 3:03. What time is it? Your coast country. Your coast or your country. It is 3:02. We it's 3:02 here. But yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, if she has a high transfer rate, meaning that she's off. If she does do home birth, she's off. You're often being transferred to the hospital. And when you think about that, you have to think about the connection that has with hospitals. That's another bill. Just it made me think about organ organ harvesting. It made me think about that because it's like I can see how we have a high mortality rate because we have no control or say so over what goes on with our body. And I can see that being a high rate because it's like, imagine you being in the comfort of your home, and everything going fine, everything going well, and then all of a sudden, oh, we need to take you to the hospital. Just imagine how that plays, how that looks. Just imagine how that looks. Now, like, it made me think like this stuff is staged and planned. You know, how do you have healthy mothers who had a healthy pregnancy the entire time, and all of a sudden now you got to be transferred to a hospital because what? Because what? It makes no sense. Right. Got more than two bills, and then the when you do the itemized bill, then they start breaking down everything that you used and that you went in the hospital. Y'all, it's crazy. Everything they used on you. The next time you go to the hospital, ask for an itemized bill. It's gonna show you everything that they use, and all of it is expensive. It's expensive, y'all. It's literally expensive, y'all. It is a business. It's a documentary. Um, it's a documentary called Born Birth. What is it? The Business of Birthing or something like that. It's I think it's called Business of Birthing. You can find it on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on there, but it shows you literally the business of birthing. Like, birthing is a business. It's a business. And when you think about the high mortality rate for Black women, we're at the top of the food chain. So get you a doula. Like, get you a doula and get you the right doula. interview doulas. You know what I'm saying? See which doulas really fit you. See if you got to make sure that this doula is someone who really, really cares about what is happening through the entire process and not just coming when, it's time to give birth. Like, greetings. um, but make sure this doula is somebody that you're really connecting with, someone that you trust. You know what I'm saying? Someone that's really going to be your voice and going to speak up for you when you can't, because that matters. Because if you say you don't want no vaccines, or you say you don't want no epidural, then that's what it need to be. They don't need to be just starting to come up there and hook you up to everything. Why? And if that's the case, we're just gonna stay at home. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna stay at home. I got put aloe vera in my hair. I twisted my hair with aloe vera and there's pieces all in my dang on hair. But I have a AirPod in my ear. I am doing well. I am doing well. Are you happy with your newfound love? What you mean? But yeah, it's another red flag that I wrote down. I'm trying to find it. I should have highlighted it. But yeah, like, it's so much that we're gonna be talking about. Um, my bad, y'all. But I'm an Aries. But I'm guessing you talking about doula. I don't know what you're talking about. But it was something that I wanted to share with y'all. I really wanted to share it with y'all because it was really important. And there's also and you know what, another thing I thought about too, when it comes to, midwives who are taught, like, they're not taught traditionally on how to be present in a pregnancy. What I don't understand is we have a system in place for everything else, but why don't we have a system in place for women, or not women, but why don't we have a system in place that specifically target, like, if a woman is a traditional midwife and she wants to do home births, why isn't there a system that allows that specific category of midwives over here, and then you have the medical midwives, or what you call them, yeah, medical midwives and traditional midwives. Why are which traditional midwives are doulas? That's a whole history behind that they don't talk about. Um, midwifery or midwifery is fairly new. It's not, or at least medical midwives is fairly new. It's not. It only really started in like the early 1900s. The same in the same time frame where they was doing this whole propaganda on granny, they call them granny wives. Excuse me. In the South they were called granny wives. And it all started happening when they started putting I'm gonna say, damn, the government, they was putting out this propaganda that doulas don't know what they talking about, granny midwives are stupid. They was giving them all these names. And so that's when they also started introducing and implementing medical midwives, and they were pushing this agenda that more women need to bring their children, I mean, not children, bring their births or have their babies more so in the hospital so they can have more control over you, so they can play with you. Y'all, I honestly feel like the medical industry don't know what they're doing. I feel like they give these people certifications or give these people degrees just so they can test you, just so they can explore you. I honestly feel like these people don't know what they're doing. Every time you go to the hospital, they tell you the main thing: we're just going to give you the same pain pills and, sedate you, whatever the case may be. And then it's like the same process over and over. That what do they really be doing? I advocate for safe birthing for Black and brown mothers because we have the highest mortality rate and infant rate, and nobody is really speaking up about the negligence that is happening amongst our community. And if they are, they're not speaking about it on a standpoint of things need to actually be done and held accountable in this way. And more women need to start speaking up about this. We need more doulas. We need more Black midwives in our circles. So if you are a registered nurse and you melanated, please go and get your midwifery what is it, certification, license, whatever you want to call it, because we could really use your help. Because there's only so much that a traditional doula can do. Um, we stay in our lanes. That's all I'm gonna say. We stay in our lanes. But I want to real quick though, because my phone is about to die. I don't know, my phone always about to die. Every time I want to get on live and start talking, my phone about to die. But I want to talk about C-sections. Yeah, I want to talk about C-sections because there is, when it comes to the relationship between the mom and baby, it is a very emotional and spiritual connection. It's not necessarily physical, although that does play like a huge part um, in the process of birthing, and of course, because we're physically pushing a damn baby out. But it is overall a spiritual and emotional connection. So whenever a woman, I had to write this down, y'all, because I had a download. I said, "Ooh." So whenever a woman experience C-sections, C-sections take joy away from the mother. Birthing is a joyful experience. That's what women are born to do. We're literally born to give birth, and everything. Also seen a study where it said women who experience. Uh-oh. I also did a study. I mean, I did a study. I also read a study where it said that women or mothers who experience C-sections have a lesser bond versus a mother who is um, doing a natural vaginal birth. And I can see that because you're literally cutting the experience of a woman, because giving birth is like literally part of our rites of passage. And if a mother does not go through that, she does not fully um experience motherhood, because it's certain feelings and it's certain emotions that comes from that. Just like when you are giving birth, it's certain hormones that are released. And it's like if we can't experience those things, we really can't fully be in our motherhood. And that's something that I'm learning even from my own experience. And that's why I advocate so much for women to, dang, all these notifications. That's why I advocate so much for women to, eat the best that they can when they're on a pregnancy. And I know that's kind of hard because you be craving a lot of things, but you got to start thinking about the nutritional value that you're giving yourself and that you're giving your baby at the end of the day. So that's why I advocate so much for women eating right when it comes to pregnancy, because even also if you're a woman, and especially a pregnant woman, and you are eating a lot more hydrating fruits, you know what I'm saying, and veggies and things like that, it makes the labor process it shortens the labor process, if I'm gonna say it like that, because everything that you experience in birthing, especially when you're actually in the process of active labor, like you're literally using all, like that's why it's important to stay hydrated. See, when I was pregnant, they would tell you that you just need to stay hydrated, but they don't tell you why. So when I was literally in active labor, I was getting cotton mouth because you got to understand, like, you're using everything in your body, all the muscles, you're using everything to push this baby out. And so, when you're hydrated, you have more energy to push out this baby. And then even when it just comes to, the way things flow in your pelvic area, you have to, like, because everything's a muscle. Your uterus is a muscle. So if you're exercising and you're eating the right things, it makes that muscle easier to contract and come back. So it's like, when we think about that and we think about birthing and the complications, it lessens and lowers the complications that we experience during birthing when you actually eat right and you actually exercise. So, um, but when you are a woman or a mother who experience C-sections, it's just something about you not fully experiencing that motherhood fully to capacity, like on a spiritual and emotional level. And if you know, you know. Like me as a mother, sometimes I can't fully connect all the way. And it wasn't until and this could be subjective, but as a mother, sometimes I can't fully connect because I feel like I'm missing something spiritually and emotionally when it comes to motherhood. And when it comes specifically, the only thing that always pops up when I meditate is my birthing experience. And I advocate for that because if I can help other women to not experience the things that I went through with my own birthing story, then honey, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to wake that up for sure because it's too much. It's too much. But anywho, yeah, Virginia, I don't know what you're talking about, sis, but I don't need your help to know. I just said why I said the things. I just said it. I just said it, and if we want to go deeper than that, let's go deeper into history. Y'all be killing me. Y'all be trying to come on people's stuff and be trying to tell them y'all be completely different races and don't be having none of the experiences of what we have gone through. Y'all think because y'all seen something that you know exactly how we feel, you know exactly what we're talking about. Y'all don't know shit. Y'all don't even y'all don't know shit. And I appreciate if y'all stay in y'all lane and let me talk to my sisters and my brothers. So respectfully, nah, I don't want to know. But anywho, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let y'all marinate on that, and I'm gonna start uploading more videos on birthing and how you can have a more successful birth, how to do things better than the way that we were doing it, and we're gonna talk about birthing rights. We're gonna talk about um, how to. You don't have to have a birth certificate or a social security. Hello. You don't have to have a birth certificate or a social security card, and there's other ways that you can get that done. So and still be legally able to, if you want to, put your children in school. I really would recommend it because the way the school system is going into shit. But um, it's so much that I have to share with y'all. But for right now, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna talk later because I gotta go finish some more stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna be posting a lot more on I don't know if I'm gonna be going live a lot more on TikTok. I do like the engagement that comes from TikTok, but I think I'm gonna start uploading a lot more of my videos on my YouTube channel because my YouTube channel is growing out of nowhere. Well, I ain't gonna say nowhere. I've been putting in the work. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, we're gonna be talking about stuff like this, but more in depth. Like I'm gonna be doing breaking down like PowerPoints on certain things when it comes to midwifery, doulas. I'll be collaborating with a lot more doulas, and we're gonna be talking about these things. And even if you have a clubhouse, we're gonna be on Clubhouse. And talking about that as well because we got to bring light to this situation for sure and bring notice of this situation. So, yeah, so with that being said, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the link in the bio, and I will speak to y'all later.